What if one day you went to a shrine to wish for a girlfriend because you kept getting rejected? But the one who came wasn't just one, not just two, but 100 women who all became your girlfriends. The story begins as a boy named Rintaro confesses to his crush. The girl says that she likes him, but she gets sick at the thought of dating him. Rintaro is crushed by the rejection, and his friend accompanies him as they walk home. We learn that this was Rintaro's 100th rejection, and his friend makes fun of him for this. His friend wonders now he has asked out 100 girls since they have only just graduated from middle school, and Rintaro remembers the first girl he ever asked out when he was only 8 months old. Rintaro really wants to experience what it's like to have a girlfriend, and his friend wonders how he keeps getting rejected since he seems to have everything, from good looks to good grades. This makes him more frustrated, but his friend bids him farewell, wishing him luck in high school. Rintaro visits a shrine and prays to the god of love to get a girlfriend in high school, when suddenly, he hears a voice and a face pops out of the donation box. But the man tells him that he's the shrine's god. As he emerges, we see he has wings, and he tells Rintaro that he's destined to meet his soulmate in high school. In fact, he's actually going to have 100 soulmates, so he'll have plenty to choose from. Rintaro is happy about this, but he swears to destroy the shrine if it turns out to be a lie. 1 month later, it's the first day of high school. Rintaro is on his way to the classroom when he bumps into 2 girls, Inda and Akari. They feel a shocking feeling as their eyes meet, and Rintaro wonders if they are the soulmates that God told him about. He goes to help the 2 girls up, but Akari suddenly pretends to have twisted her ankle, asking him to help her to the nurse's office. Rintaro cries over hurting his soulmate, and Hikari starts to like him even more, thinking he is a kind soul. As he helps her up, Inda gets jealous, and she pretends that she's twisted her ankle as well. Rintaro starts hitting himself for hurting the 2 girls, and the girls stand up as they get worried for him. Rintaro is surprised to see they can stand, but they quickly go back to pretending. Rintaro takes them to the nurse's office, but he feels as though he's the one who's being carried. The girls pretend to lose balance, and they start fighting over him, but they end up both clinging onto him. As they continue to the nurse's office, Rintaro introduces himself to the girls, and he finds out that they are all in the same class. There are 2 other girls that walk past, and they mention a field of pink leaf clovers in the courtyard, saying if you ask anyone out with a pink 4-leaf clover, it's guaranteed they will say yes. Inda and Akari suddenly run off, and Rintaro is surprised their legs are fine. 3 hours after the end of school, we see Rintaro stay back to help a teacher find his contact lens. As he prepares to go home, he wonders if he will see the girls again, and he suddenly sees them in the courtyard. We see Inda looking for the 4-leaf clover, and Rintaro checks to see how it's going. Inda is shocked to see him, and she tries to pretend she wasn't looking for the clover. Rintaro notices that Hikari isn't there, and he offers Inda a drink. She is too shy to accept it, so Rintaro thinks she must find him weird since they only just met, but she suddenly snatches it from him, saying she'll drink it all so it doesn't go to waste. He tells her she should go home since it's getting late. She tells him not to tell her what to do, but she thanks him for the drink, and Rintaro realizes she's at tsundere. Inda suddenly runs away, and Akari returns. Rintaro offers her a drink, but Akari intends to have an indirect kiss with him, so she asks to share half with him, saying she can't finish it by herself. Rintaro thought this would happen, so he already brought a smaller drink for her, but she insists but she still can't finish it. He agrees and takes a sip, as he gives it to Hikari, but Hikari panics, and it all spills on the ground. Rintaro thinks she's upset because she must really like the drink. He offers her his handkerchief to help her clean up, but Hikari instead holds his hand and confesses her love to him, saying she has to do it fast because there's someone else who likes him. Rintaro is delighted receiving his first ever confession, but before he can respond, Inda suddenly returns. She had bought a bunch of drinks to repay him, but she suddenly gets mad at Hikari for asking him out, telling her to get in line. Rintaro is surprised to hear that she likes him. She tries to deny it at first, but she ends up confessing to him as well. They ask him who he's going to choose, but he tells them to wait till the next day for his answer. He thinks about both of the girls, but he is just not able to choose. He visits the shrine, and God tells him that they are both his soul mates, so it's impossible for him to choose. He wonders what other people do if they meet two soulmates, but God tells him that people usually don't have more than one. The God reveals that when Rintaro was born, he made a mistake because he was busy watching TV, and he accidentally assigned Rintaro 100 soulmates instead of one. Rintaro thinks he's doomed, but God warns him it'll only get worse, because if a person can't be with their soulmate, they'll die because they can't have the one they love. He thinks about one of the girls dying, so this just makes his decision even harder. However, he suddenly gets an idea, thinking he could reject them both, and then date both of them behind the other's back. The next morning, the girls meet Rintaro and are surprised to see him tattered, but he finally answers that he wants to date both of them. Inda is shocked to hear this, and it turns out he couldn't bring himself to lie to them, so he confesses that he loves them both and will do everything to make them the happiest girls ever. The girls are about to reject him, but he suddenly presents them both with pink four-leaf clovers, which we learn he spent all night looking for. Inda mocks him for believing in the superstition, but Hikari reminds her how they both believed in it. Inda refuses to accept two-timing with him, but he tells them that he got the flowers because he saw how hard they were looking for them, so he just wanted to make them happy. The girls can't handle the gesture, and Hikari agrees to be with him, thinking two-timing with him would still make her happier than getting rejected. Inda refuses to let Hikari have him to herself, so she also agrees to be with him. Hikari teases her for changing her mind, and Rintaro swears to cherish them both, but he wonders about his other 98 soulmates. The next day, Rintaro expresses how happy he is to finally have a girlfriend, but he's actually just talking to a pole. The two girls arrive, but Inda gets creeped out at why he was talking to a pole. Rintaro says he was just too happy, so he couldn't contain himself, and Inda tells him he can talk to her instead, but she ends up becoming too embarrassed. Hikari takes this chance, and she holds Rintaro's hand. He is overwhelmed by the sensation, and Inda starts to get jealous, but he grabs her hand as well. She acts like she doesn't enjoy it, but the three of them happily walk together. When they get to school, they see a boy running as he gets chased by the vice principal. Hikari points out that she's known for being strict, and if she sees anyone running in the school, she will chase them down, and if they're caught, she'll give them a kiss. Rintaro thinks this would cause emotional damage, and Hikari notes that the vice principal is a former star sprinter, so it's impossible to get away from her. Hikari goes on to ask Rintaro if he's ever kissed anyone, but he says that he hasn't since they are his first ever girlfriends. Hearing this, Hikari and Inda realize that whoever acts first will be able to get his first kiss. The three spend the lunch break together, and while Inda is distracted by a cat, Hikari feeds an egg roll to Rintaro. He likes it so much that he starts crying, and Inda gets jealous. She reveals that she made cookies for him, but when she tries to feed him, she ends up hitting him in the eye. He eats her cookie, telling her it was amazing, but Hikari takes out a Baki snack. As she opens it, she finds that the ends have been broken. She wonders how she can feed him without getting her hands dirty, so she ends up feeding him with her mouth. Seeing her so close, Rintaro thinks she is too cute. Hikari starts biting the snack to get closer to him. Inda tries to join, but she ends up poking his other eye. As Indo's hair gets in the way, it causes Rintaro to sneeze, and he breaks his Baki with Hikari. Inda notices that his eyes are all red, so she worries that he has a cold, but she suddenly grabs onto him, telling him he can get better by passing it on. She tries to kiss him, but Hikari gets in the way, saying they can't be sure that he has a cold, so she tries to check his temperature through their lips, saying it's our family's tradition. However, Inda stops them and tries to make Rintaro pass out so she can give him mouth-to-mouth. Hikari pushes her away, and they both are angry at each other. Rintaro finally realizes they were trying to kiss him. Inda disagrees with this, but her expression makes their motives obvious. He's stunned to know they want to kiss him, so he offers to kiss them because he's been wanting to do it as well, but Hikari explains that he will have to choose who he will kiss first, causing them to fight with each other once again. However, Rintaro stops them, saying he has a solution that he had planned the day before because he was too excited. He thought a lot about how to make them happy, so for the first kiss, they will keep who was kissed first a mystery, so they will both have the same chance of being his first kiss, and he'll consider each of their kisses as his first. The girls are concerned about how they can keep it a mystery, but Rintaro explains his plan, which involves wearing a mask and covering their ears. Using a dice, the girls will randomly determine their standing position, and he will kiss them without knowing who is who. He will then return to his original position, and the girls will once again randomize their positions, so in the end he will have no idea who he kissed first. Hikari thinks it's a great idea, but Inda worries there's a chance he could cheat, so Rintaro reveals his solution, which is to pinky promise that they won't cheat. Inda thinks it's dumb, but Rintaro promises to stick a needle in his eye if he breaks the promise. The girls agree to the plan, and as they go about carrying it out, there is a gust of wind that lifts up Inda's skirt, and the cat suddenly starts clawing at it. Inda thinks it's Rintaro who's touching her, and she ends up kicking him away. She starts beating him up, but her headphones come out, and she realizes it was the cat. They decide to try again, but with every try, something always goes wrong, and they are unable to kiss. Everyone's upset, and Inda points out the plan was faulty. This angers Hikari, and they both start blaming each other and fighting over who Rintaro belongs to. He stops them and takes all the blame upon himself for not being experienced as he runs off. He calls out for the vice principal, and she suddenly shows up to punish him for running. She gets on top of him, and he's scared to death, but Inda suddenly stops her. Hikari pretends to see a school inspector, and the vice principal gets worried hearing this, so she quickly crawls away. The girls wonder why Rintaro acted so rashly, but he says it's because he loves them both and wants them to get along, so he'd rather ruin his first kiss than cause them to fight. But hearing this, both girls tell him he can kiss the other, not wanting him to waste his first kiss. Rintaro is surprised by this, but the girls can tell that they both really love him. Rintaro hugs them both, and he seems to come up with another plan. He suggests they could do a three-way kiss. He thought they wouldn't go for this at the start, but seeing them get along, he thinks it can work. The girls get embarrassed at the thought of kissing each other, but they end up agreeing, and the three finally get their first kiss. The following day, the girls and Rintaro are at the library. Hikari looks for a cookbook so she can make more food for him, but Indo fights with her over a book about winning a man through his stomach. Rintaro tells them to get along, reminding them how they both shared a kiss, and the girls become embarrassed. Rintaro looks around for another book, but he meets another girl who instantly gives him a shocking sensation, so he wonders if she's another one of his soulmates. The girl backs away, and Rintaro sees that she's the librarian. The girl doesn't speak, but points to phrases in her book to communicate with him. Rintaro finds this confusing at first, so he thinks they aren't meant to speak in the library. She asks him what he's looking for, and he tries to mime out that he's looking for a story that's funny. The girl asks him why he's not talking, and he asks her the same thing. She apologizes and prepares to get someone else to help him, but he stops her, asking for her assistance. He asks for her recommendations for a romance story with a good ending, so she starts picking out some books for him. But Rintaro is shocked when she ends up picking out a mountain of books. The girl apologizes, telling him to just pick the ones he wants, but he tells her he'll take them all since she picked them out for him. But as he goes to check them out, it turns out his library card isn't ready yet, so he can't borrow any of the books. But the girl offers him her own personal book. Rintaro happily accepts it, and he wonders about her name. The girl shows him her ID, and we learn her name is Shizuka. At night, Rintaro reads the book, and it's a story about a princess and her knight. The knight swears his loyalty to her, even protecting her from a dragon. The two develop feelings for one another, but the princess is arranged to be married to another prince. The knight rushes out to her, wishing there was a way for them to defy their fates. Rintaro roots for them, but the story ends on a cliffhanger. The next day, Rintaro thanks Shizuka for the book, and he realizes that she brought him the second book. He excitedly accepts it, but thinks he needs to find a way to repay her. He buys a drink for her, and they start talking about the book outside. Shizuka tells him that it's her favorite book, and Rintaro is impressed by how well she knows it, since she can find any phrase to use it to communicate. But she is just glad that he doesn't find her weird, revealing that she has never had a real friend. Hearing this, Rintaro gets an idea, and he asks to borrow her first book again. The next day, we see Shizuka has brought the third book for Rintaro, but he doesn't show up even after a few days. As she walks around the school, she notices Rintaro with Hikari and Enda. They know how sleepy he looks, and he says he's been busy at night. The girls think about what he could be up to, but Rintaro continues to yawn. Hikari suddenly kisses him, telling him she's giving him her energy. Rintaro hugs her, calling her his angel, but Inda says she also has plenty of energy to give him. She goes in to kiss him, but she ends up headbutting him instead. Shizuka realizes he has a girlfriend and thinks he must be too busy to read. She thinks about how the other girls found her weird for the way she talks, and even her mother thinks she's a freak, begging her to speak normally. She thinks nobody has time to talk to someone like her, but we see Rintaro come to find her, saying he can finally repay her for lending him her books. He gets her to install an app on her phone, and reveals he made a copy of the first book. He shows her how to select the words, and play it out as a voice. Shizuka knows the ebook was never released, so Rintaro manually typed out the whole book. Rintaro explains that when she talks with the book, they never spoke face to face since she always had to look at the book, but he says that by using the app, they'll be able to look at each other while she talks. He hopes that it will help her with communicating, and he tells her to try it out. She tells him that she loves him, but she instantly takes it back, telling him not to worry. However, Rintaro tells her that he loves her too. Shizuka thinks they are destined not to be together, but Rintaro claims they will overcome it even if it's their fate. He introduces Shizuka to the other girls, asking to add her as his newest girlfriend. Enda thinks he's insane, but Hikari thanks him for staying with them even after finding someone else. Rintaro claims his feelings towards them haven't changed, making an analogy that they're like an oil field, and Shizuka is just a completely new field, so adding her won't affect them in any way. In fact, he plans on cherishing them even more than before. He promises to prove it with his actions, saying that if he ever fails them, he will atone for it by committing seppuku, even ordering a special knife from Amazon. Inda ends up accepting it, and Rintaro's girlfriends grow by one, but there are still 97 soulmates to go. Rintaro tells Hikari and Inda more about Shizuka, telling them that she has a cute mannerism while reading books, where she moves her toes like a puppy's tail, and it expresses how she feels. He reveals that Hikari also has a cute habit, where she bites on her fingers while thinking, and he admits that this turns him on. He adds that when Inda is trying to brush off a compliment, she twirls her hair with her fingers, and he finds this adorable. They are surprised that he was able to notice their behavior, thinking he must really care about them. He goes on to describe how Enda and Hikari behave while they're kissing, but this causes Shizuka to lose her composure as she realizes that he has already kissed them. Hikari wonders if she is also interested in kissing, but she tells them that she's saving her first kiss for her marriage. Rintaro says that it's okay, saying he won't kiss her until she's ready, as Inda and Hikari watch her, waiting for her to kiss him, but nothing happens. They feed Rintaro lunch, but Inda becomes angry, because Hikari won't let her feed him. They proceed to stuff his mouth, as Shizuka enjoys her meal, observing them as they fight over him, but he realizes that she is too quiet, thinking she needs to get used to them. He thinks about how people put up a front before getting to know someone, because they're afraid of how others will react if they display their emotions. So he thinks it'll be easier to open up to someone who already knows how you feel, because once your true feelings have been revealed, you no longer have to be afraid of how other people will react. Rintaro asks the girls if they want to play a card game, saying the loser will be tickled by the winner. He believes that laughter is the best way to force someone to display their emotions, thinking they will all be friends after they tickle each other. The girls think about Rintaro touching them, so they are determined to lose against him. Rintaro is the winner of the first round, while Inda is the loser, but she appears to be happy about this. He proceeds to tickle her as she tries to resist it, and she lies on the ground, but he stops as he realizes she's enjoying it a little too much. For the second round, Rintaro wins again, and the loser is Hikari. She celebrates, knowing he is about to touch her, and he starts tickling her, causing her to laugh, as she enjoys every moment of it. But she starts acting weird, and she begs him to stop, saying she is very ticklish, but we learn the real reason was she was about to wet herself. Rintaro wins the third round, and Shizuka is the loser, so he looks forward to tickling her, wanting to hear how she laughs. But as he proceeds to tickle her, she remains silent, and she gets her device to say that she is laughing. He thinks that she looks adorable, so he continues to tickle her, as Endo and Hikari watch them, realizing that he hasn't lost yet. They want to tickle him back, so they become determined to win the game. But Shizuka wins the fourth round, and Rintaro is the loser, so she approaches him, but instead of tickling him, she pokes him. He starts laughing, as Hikari wonders why she isn't taking this chance to feel him all over. Hikari thinks that he is attracted to Shizuka's timid behavior, and she thinks about how she flaunts her best features to grab his attention, seeing herself as a poser. Shizuka's natural charm is the complete opposite, so she thinks that Shizuka is an even greater threat than Inda. After the game, Rintaro goes to the bathroom, while Inda confronts Shizuka, knowing she is keeping her distance from Rintaro. She tells them that she is just a newcomer, so she wants to stay out of their way. But Inda reminds her that she is Rintaro's girlfriend, so there's no need to hold back, saying her behavior is annoying. She immediately apologizes, but this makes Inda upset, asking her why she won't fight back. She decides to be honest with them, telling them she is afraid, as she explains that Hikari has incredible charm, while Inda has the confidence to match her beauty. But Shizuka thinks that there is nothing special about her, and she is afraid that Rintaro will compare her to them. They start to take a liking to her, thinking she is adorable, but she thinks that she is nothing compared to them. Hikari assures her that Rintaro can see the beauty in her, recognizing her as a fellow girlfriend. Rintaro observes them, thinking his plan went better than expected. We learn that when Shizuka was poking him, he realized that Anda was glaring at her. He thought that Anda wanted to fight her, but he believed that he should give them the chance to display their emotions. He is proud of how the girls handled the situation, and he returns to them, as Anda tells him that Shizuka should tickle him again because she was holding back, and Hikari encourages her to go for it. She realizes that they are trying to help her, thinking she should make their kindness count, so she approaches him, telling him that she wants to kiss him. They finally kiss, and Shizuka becomes flustered, but Hikari also asks for a kiss, as she wonders if she is good enough for him, thinking she is nothing compared to Shizuka, but he tells her that he loves all of his girlfriends. He kisses her, making her happy, and he asks Inda if she also wants a kiss. She pretends that she doesn't, but she slides into position, and he tells her that she's cute when she's flustered. She pummels him, but he endures it, and she admits that she wants to kiss him, so he gives her one as well. He realizes that he has amazing girlfriends, thinking he doesn't deserve them, but they tell him that they feel the same way about him. The next day, Rintaro enters the classroom, where he meets a girl named Nano. He tells her that the exam results have been posted, asking her if she's going to check it out, but she tells him that it's a waste of time, knowing she has secured the number 1 spot. As their eyes meet, they feel a shocking sensation, so he thinks that she must be one of his soulmates. He checks the results with his girlfriends, and we learn that they all did well. As he looks at the number 1 spot, he is surprised to see that Nano got a perfect score. He asks the girls about her, so they tell him that she's a total nerd, saying she can answer any question they give her, and there are rumors that she isn't even human. During their biology class, Rintaro is paired up with Nano, as he notes that she is nothing like his girlfriends, because her elegance is on another level. He realizes that she is copying the answer from her textbook, because she thinks that practical exams are a waste of time, saying the scientists already know the answer. He tells her that the professor is watching, so she uses the microscope, but instead of checking out the specimen, she looks at her textbook, saying it's more efficient. He realizes that she behaves like a robot, and as he tries to slice the specimen, he cuts his finger, so he proceeds to rinse it, thinking about going to the nurse's office. But Nano tells him that there's no need, and she puts it in her mouth, causing him to panic. She explains that he doesn't need a disinfectant, because saliva is a natural source of it. Rintaro wonders if he's dreaming, and it also causes Inda to become obsessed. After class, Rintaro thanks Nano for helping him, but she tells him that she just wanted him to stay, because she needed someone to help her clean up. He wants to get to know her better, inviting her to go out with him, but she thinks that it's a waste of time, because it produces nothing of value, saying it won't improve her future prospects. He thinks that having fun is the meaning of life, but she tells him that he's delusional, saying he is wasting her time, so he starts to wonder if she really is his soulmate. That evening, we see Nano in our room, but she thinks about Rintaro, wondering why she helped him. She realizes that she has feelings for him, thinking it's distracting her, so she starts writing the exact value of pi, thinking it's the most efficient way to restore her focus. But she notes that it isn't working, even though she has filled up the board and written on many pieces of paper. She realizes that she is wasting time, thinking this is a problem. So the next day, Nano tells Rintaro that she is in love with him, saying she wants him to be her boyfriend. He tells her that he wants to go out with her, but she turns him down, so he thinks that he has been pranked. She reveals that she wants to put an end to her feelings, because relationships only lead to marriage and pregnancy, thinking romance between teenagers is meaningless. She tells him that she'll never go out with him, but he reveals that he is in love with her, saying he refuses to give up, and he asks her out, imploring her to give him a chance to win her over. A few days later, they visit an amusement park, and Rintaro is determined to convince Nano that love is meaningful. But she thinks that the activity is pointless, wondering why they're even doing it. She notes that he's holding onto an instant camera, knowing that it doesn't retain any data, so she thinks that it's a flawed device. He tells her to say cheese, but she asks him what he means, and he takes the picture anyways. They enter a haunted house, and Nano says that she doesn't believe in ghosts. As the ghosts try to scare them, she maintains her composure, saying they're only humans, so she wonders why Rintaro is afraid. She says that the haunted house is full of humans, so they should call it a human house instead. As they ride the giant teacups, she thinks that whoever created the ride is insane, wondering why people line up to get spun around, and she thinks that it must have been created to brainwash people. They enter a giant maze, where they encounter dead ends, as Nano wonders why the designers didn't just build the right path, thinking it only makes the customers' lives more difficult. At the Ferris wheel, Nano reveals that she is afraid of heights, so Rintaro sits next to her, and they hold each other's hands. They look at all the pictures they took, and Nano admits she had fun, but she still thinks that it's a meaningless day. So Rintaro decides to burn the photos, saying they should erase it from their memories, but as he is about to burn it, Nano recalls that the camera doesn't store data, so they will lose all records of the event. She takes the photos, and Rintaro tells her she was afraid of losing them, because she gained something of value. She starts crying, as he tells her that enjoying good times makes their lives meaningful. She uses his handkerchief to wipe her tears, telling him that she will disinfect it before she returns it, and he wonders if she will use her saliva again, but she tells him that she will wash it. She says that she wants him to be her boyfriend, because she wants to spend more meaningful times with him, and Rintaro tells her that he loves her. So she kisses him, telling him that she'll fulfill her desires by any means necessary. Rintaro introduces her to the girls, and they don't make any objections, so he thanks them for accepting her, once again promising to commit seppuku if he doesn't treat them well, but Nano tells him that poison would be more effective. They think about going out together, and Akari is jealous Rintaro went to a theme park without her, so she suggests they go to a water park, wanting to have a beach episode. We see Inda looking for a swimsuit to wear, but she has trouble picking one else. There's one that grabs her attention, thinking it looks cute, but she thinks that it won't look good on her. However, she thinks that Rintaro might like it, so she decides to buy it. They arrive at the pool, where Rintaro sees the girls wearing swimsuits, and he is overjoyed at the sight, thinking he can die happy. But Inda arrives with a strange dress, so he panics, because it looks like she doesn't have a swimsuit. She tells them that she's feeling cold, so she'll hang around the pool while they have fun. Nano points her to an area where she can enjoy the sun, so she thanks Nano, saying she doesn't have to worry about her. But Nano says that she doesn't care about her, so she becomes upset, telling Nano to go away. They enter the whirlpool, where Shizuka keeps spinning on her floater, saying she can't control where she's going. Nano believes that the venue is for survival training, and she tries to swim against the current, but Rintaro stops her, as Akari clings to him, telling him that she is being swept away. She gets up close to him, and Nana tries to do the same, but it causes him to pass out. Nano notes that he's not breathing, so Hikari gives him mouth-to-mouth, enjoying every moment of it. But Nano tells her to go away, trying to save Rintaro, but Hikari tells her that it's not working, saying Rintaro is going to die. Meanwhile, we see Shizuka getting swept away, and she tries to get out of the pool, but she can't control where she's going. She realizes she's in trouble, so she tries asking for help, but everyone ignores her. Her floater breaks, so she hurries out of the water, but she becomes stranded on an island in the middle of a whirlpool. We return to Rintaro, as Nano suggests finding a lifeguard. They run around the pool, but a group of men call out to them. Hikari ignores them, but one of them notices that she has a great body. He reaches out to her, but Nano stops him and pokes his eyes, saying it's the most efficient way to dispose of a pervert. His friends become upset, so they try to intimidate Nano, and she tells them that she will hang out with them so that Hikari can look for a lifeguard to save Rintaro. She knows that he will be sad if something happens to Hikari, so she decided to help her escape. But Hikari tells them that Nano isn't going with them, telling her that Rintaro also cares about her. One of the men reaches out to Hikari, but Rintaro gets in the way, saying Nano and Hikari are his girlfriends. The man tells him not to interfere because Nano blinded his friend, telling him to leave with his girlfriend, but he tells the man that Nano and Hikari are both his girlfriends. The man doesn't believe him, so he tells him to kiss both of them, thinking Rintaro won't be able to do it because he's lying. But Nano kisses him, and Hikari does the same, telling the men that Rintaro is saying the truth. The men freak out, realizing he's a gigachad, and they decide not to mess with him. Hikari wonders how Rintaro was able to recover. We learn that Enda saw the incident, so she was about to make her way to Hikari and Nano, but she saw Rintaro along the way, thinking he's already dead. She tells him not to die, because Nano and Hikari are in trouble, so he suddenly regains consciousness, and he rushes to help them. Rintaro explains that he was able to make it because of Enda, and he thanks Nano for protecting Hikari. Nano thinks that Hikari is more important than her, but he tells her not to put herself in danger, and she realizes that he also cares about her. He realizes that Shizuka is still in the pool, so he panics, knowing she can't swim. He rushes to her, and we see her asking for help, but everyone ignores her. She realizes that her phone is running out of battery, but at that moment, she hears Rintaro calling out to her. She tries to grab his attention, but he can't find her, so she thinks about screaming with her own voice. She doesn't want to do it because she doesn't want people to hear her voice, but she doesn't have any other choice. She screams with a high-pitched voice, and Rintaro immediately finds her, saying he's glad that she's okay. He carries her away, and she kisses him, causing him to become embarrassed as he reminds her that they're still in public. They join the others, and Rintaro tells them that he's going to take a break, telling Enda to join him. During his break, he asks Enda why she keeps looking at Hikari and Nano, thinking she is comparing herself to them. He thinks that she doesn't feel confident wearing her swimsuit, so he assures her that she and Shizuka are both normal. But she says that Shizuka is different because she's tiny and cute, but he suddenly removes her dress, revealing her swimsuit. She calls him a pervert, but he thinks that she looks amazing. He hugs her, and she realizes that his heart is beating fast as he tells her that she's unique, saying she can't be more attractive than she already is, and she is moved by his words. Enda decides to join them in the pool, and they enjoy the rest of the day together. They return to the school, and as they pass by the chemistry lab, Rintaro sees a girl. He feels the shocking sensation as their eyes meet, so he knows that she is one of his soulmates. The next day, Rintaro returns to the lab, wondering if he will find his soulmate there. But as he enters the room, he sees a strange girl who introduces herself as Kasuri from the chemistry club. She gives him tea, but he's surprised to see that it's in a beaker. She tells him that she just finished developing a drug, but he explains that he doesn't want to join the chemistry club, saying he's just looking for someone. But she just tells him to drink the tea and wait, so he decides to try it, and she presents the drug she made, which is a human magnet medicine. She explains that if he takes it, his body will attract metals, and she forces him to drink it. His body starts acting like a magnet, and he is impressed that this is even possible, but she warns him about the drug's side effect, saying he will be constipated for 3 days. She decides to test her theory, revealing that she has a drug with an opposite pole, and she drinks it, causing her body to become attracted to him. She tells him that opposites attract, but she realizes that the magnetism is too strong, so she can't get away. But she maintains her composure, knowing the effect only lasts for 10 minutes. She tells him that she needs to pee, so he starts to panic, but she says that it's okay, revealing that she has diapers on. She pees in her diapers, and the effect finally wears off. She reveals that she wants to create new drugs, revealing that she has already made plenty of them. He realizes that he's starting to have feelings for her, and she already knows about this, because she made him drink the love potion when he arrives. She reveals that she fell in love with him at first sight, but he throws up, saying he wants to get rid of the love potion. She wonders why the love potion didn't work, thinking he must really dislike her. so she starts crying, asking him if she's not his type, but he tells her that he doesn't want to be drugged up when he accepts her feelings. He starts acting weird, and she knows that his body is trying to reject the drug, so she tells him to drink a neutralizer, but he is convulsing, so she decides to give it using her mouth. His body recovers, but she despairs, knowing the effect of the love potion is gone. He tells her that he still likes her, causing her to become flustered, and she begs him to go out with her, saying she will do whatever he wants. Her hair suddenly starts growing, and her body transforms, revealing that she is the soulmate he saw in the lab. She explains that she also drank the neutralizer while she was giving it by mouth, revealing that she transformed into a kid because she worked on a failed immortality drug, but she says that she can only maintain her current form for an hour. She reveals that she is the president of the chemistry club and that her current form has poor vision and long hair, so she prefers to do her research as a kid. He can't believe that she is one of his soulmates, and he agrees to go out with her. Rintaro introduces Kasuri to his other girlfriends, and he doesn't receive any negative reactions. But she tells them that she loves drugs, so Inda wonders if she's okay. He explains that she is older than them, and that she is small because of a drug, so Inda thinks that Kasuri is a drug addict. She reveals that she has a medicine to help grow Inda's boobs, but she becomes upset, so Kasuri offers to give her other medicines to improve herself. But she becomes even more upset, asking Kasuri why she's doing this, so she reveals that Rentaro told her about her insecurity. Inda tortures him, but Kasuri tells her how much he loves her, so she immediately apologizes. Kasuri gives Hikari a hotness medicine, saying it will make her more attractive. She thinks that it will enhance her assets, so she decides to drink it, but she realizes that she is sweating profusely, and her clothes melt away, as Kasuri explains that nothing is hotter than her birthday suit. Rintaro gives her clothes, and she smells it, knowing he wore it. She is worried that it could also melt away, but Kasuri assures her that the drug only works once, so Rintaro's clothes are safe. Kasuri gives Shizuka a fantasy medicine, causing her to grow rabbit ears. Rintaro finds it cute, and he starts touching it, which makes her happy. Kusuri gives Nano a hair control drug, giving her the ability to use her hair like extra arms. Nano uses it to grab Rintaro, and she kisses him, saying she likes the drug because it increases her efficiency. Kusuri explains that the drug lasts for 10 minutes, saying she can take more drugs if she wants the effect to last, but it will increase her risk of going bald. She thinks that this is a small price to pay, asking Rintaro if he will love her even if she is bald, and he tells her that he will love her even if she becomes an alien. But he reveals that he likes her hair, so she decides not to use the drug. Kusuri tells them about her dream to join a research team so that she can make even more amazing drugs. But she feels the urge to pee, saying she will use her pipers, but Rintaro tells her to use the bathroom. They are about to drink tea, as Kasuri tells them to be careful, explaining that the tea for the girls is different from Rintaro's tea, but she can't explain it properly because she really needs to go to the bathroom. She rushes to the toilet, and they see 2 containers, thinking the small one is for Rintaro. They eat together, but Kasuri realizes that the girls are about to drink Rintaro's tea, so she warns them to spit it out, revealing that the big container has a drug that is supposed to make him kiss her. But he tells her that he will kiss her even if he isn't drugged. She is happy to hear this, and she is about to kiss him, but Inda suddenly grabs onto her, throwing her away, as he realizes that the girls want to kiss him. They start acting like zombies, and Kasuri realizes that she messed up, telling Rentaro to run because the girls are experiencing the drug's side effect. She explains that it isn't safe for girls, because females already have a strong desire to kiss men. So the drug caused them to lose control, because the desire to kiss is so strong that it's the only thing left on their minds, and this somehow gives them super strength. She calls them kiss zombies, warning Rintaro that they will kiss him forever, but he seems to be okay with this. She explains that they need the medicine reversing drug before the drug circulates, or their personalities will be erased forever, and we learn that Rintaro only has 1 hour to get the drug, as they lunge at him, intending to kiss him to death. Kasuri and Rintaro run away, as Kasuri suggests heading to the chem lab to find a cure. But as they run around the campus, the zombies block their path. So Kasuri looks for something she can use against them, and she finds a drug that can melt faces. But Rintaro tells her not to use it, saying they should take a detour. But as they run away, The vice principal gets in their way, and Kusuri becomes frightened, so she uses the face-melting drug on her. But the vice principal's makeup protects her face, and she tells them that her true form is about to be revealed. She doesn't want anyone to see her face, so she crawls away, as they continue to flee. The zombies come up with a plan, and they split up, planning to surround Rintaro. He realizes that he's their target, thinking Kusuri can find a cure without him, so he tells her to head to the lab, while he draws their attention. As Shizuka chases after him, she suddenly trips, hitting her head, and he becomes worried, so he takes her to the infirmary, where he treats her wounds. But he realizes that she's still a zombie, and she takes him down, kissing him repeatedly. He knows that he messed up, thinking it's all over for him, but he recalls that her personality will disappear if he doesn't find a cure. So he pushes her away, and he manages to restrain her, promising to cure her. He continues to run away, but Indo launches Akari at him, causing him to fall. They pin him down, and they start kissing him as he wonders how he can escape. But he sees them arguing, realizing that they haven't changed, so he makes them kiss each other, and they start making out, as he realizes that they're actually tough lovers because they fight every day. He is happy to see this, but he recalls that he still needs to find a cure, so he dashes away. But as he enters the lab, he sees Nano inside, and he hides inside a locker, thinking he just needs to buy time for Kusuri to find a cure. But he sees her in the locker, as she reveals that Nano spotted her before she could enter the lab, so she decided to hide there, and she can't find a way out. He realizes that Nano knows about their plan, thinking her intelligence makes her a threat to them. Kusuri tells him to act as a decoy, so that she can enter the lab, but he thinks that Nano will be able to see through their plan, because it would be too obvious if he just starts running away. Kusuri blames herself for the situation, revealing that her experiments always cause trouble for everyone, which explains why she is the only person left in the chemistry club. She says that she will stop experimenting, but at that moment, she realizes she still has one dose of the reversing drug. Rintaro thinks about using it on Nano, but Kusuri starts drinking it, and he tells her to stop, causing her to drop it. He tells her that they should have used it on Nano, and she realizes that he has a point, but she returns to her original form, telling him that she plans to enter the lab while Nano doesn't recognize her. But she was only able to get a sip of the medicine, so she explains that she doesn't have a lot of time. She thinks about restraining Nano before the drug wears off, but Nano finds her suspicious, and she is able to see through her plan, so she ties her up. Rintaro panics, thinking they won't be able to cure the zombies, but he sees the drug on the floor, and he comes up with a plan. He dashes away, running away from Nano, and he hides in a room, but she destroys the door, causing him to freak out. He realizes that there's no way out, and she starts kissing him repeatedly, as he accepts his fate. This looks like the end for him, but at that moment, Kusuri gives her a drug, causing her to pass out, and Kusuri explains that she will be back to normal after she wakes up. We learn that he lured Nano away, because he knew that Kusuri's body was about to shrink, and this explains how she was able to break free. They cure the other zombies, and they wake up in the infirmary, wondering what just happened. Hikari recalls that she kissed Inda, but she claims that she doesn't remember anything, and Inda also knows what happened, but she pretends that her memory has been wiped out. Rintaro knows that they are just playing dumb, but he is happy that they are able to get along. Kusuri blames herself for what happened, so she apologizes to everyone, but he reminds her that she saved them, telling her that he is willing to fix her problems with her. So he advises her not to give up on her research, saying he loves her because of her passion. Everyone goes to a flower park, where they hear an announcement about the bouquet toss event. Hikari thinks they should participate, saying the couple that catches the bouquet gets to have a special photo shoot, where they are dressed up as a married couple. They are all eager to win, and when learn that Hikari always wanted to wear a wedding dress, thinking her dream is about to come true. A crowd gathers for the event, and we see the gorilla gang, as their leader orders them to win the game for her. Hikari thinks it will be difficult to deal with them, so she suggests working together and drawing lots to determine who will participate in the photo shoot. Rintaro thinks that Shizuka should stay back because she's too small, so she could end up getting swallowed by the crowd. Kusuri is willing to participate in the game, so she drinks medicine, allowing her to return to her original form. Rintaro notices that the gang has a flag, so he creates one for his team, calling them the Rintaro family. The game is about to begin, and the announcer explains that physical attacks against other participants are prohibited. He introduces everyone to the special guest of the event, and we see that it's the vice principal. She tells everyone that she wants the bouquet to leave the atmosphere because she doesn't want anyone to be happy. The game begins, and she throws the bouquet with incredible force. Everyone runs after it, as Rintaro notes that it's still going up, thinking it won't be landing for a while. We see the members of the gorilla gang attacking the other participants, as their leader claims that they're not resorting to violence, saying the gang is just training, so they aren't breaking the rules. The announcer agrees with her, and she throws the members of her gang, using them to knock people out. Hikari is about to get hit, but Indo protects her, saying she will join the gang to participate in their training. She grapples with the leader, telling everyone that she will take care of her so they can focus on getting the bouquet. It starts to fall, so the gang members use their flags to create an incredible wind, causing it to change direction, and it looks like the gorilla gang is about to win. But at that moment, we see Shizuka in the air, and we learn that she was standing beside the flag bearers, so she was launched upwards when the wind vortex was created. She manages to grab the bouquet, but she is about to fall to her death, so the girls try to catch her, and Rintaro thinks they're in trouble because they will get hurt if she crashes into them. But she bounces off their chests, allowing them to absorb the impact, and Rintaro catches her before she hits the ground. The Rintaro family wins the event, and they start drawing lots to determine who will be joining the photo shoot. But we learn that Hikari has a plan, and she marked the winning stick with a tiny cut. But she thinks it would be too suspicious if she drew the first stick, so she plans to wait for someone's turn to end before she makes her move. She believes that Nano will be an easy target because she is obsessed with efficiency, so she will probably take the stick closest to her. Hikari puts the winning stick at the farthest position, and she tells Nano to take one, but she explains that it will be more efficient if they all drew at once. So Hikari's plan is ruined, realizing that she underestimated Nano, but she still ends up winning, so she is overjoyed, knowing her dream is about to come true. She sees Kasuri crying because she really wants to join the photo shoot, so Hikari tells her that she can take her place, and Kasuri is grateful for this, but she changes her mind, saying she wants two of her favorite people to be in the photo. Hikari tells everyone to join, and they take a picture together. She thanks Rintaro for making her dream come true, but she tells him to break up with her, and she doesn't give him any explanation. So later that day, he wonders what's wrong with her, and he wants to talk to her, but he realizes that she has already left them. He tries to call her, but she won't pick up, so he decides to look for her house, revealing that her address is written on the envelope she sent him. We learn that she lives in a mansion, and he calls out to her, but she tells him to be quiet, as a guard arrives, wondering where the noise came from. He manages to hide, and he receives a call from an unknown number. He realizes that it's Hikari, and she tells him that she no longer loves him, but he knows that she's lying, saying he won't leave until he knows the truth. So she tells him that her mother Hana is against their relationship because he has too many girlfriends. She explains that her phone was taken away, and she is about to leave the town, saying Hana is going to use her money to get what she wants, so Hikari thinks that she can never be with him. Hana suddenly arrives, and she takes the phone, telling him to stay away from Hikari, as she threatens to get rid of him. A guard restrains him, recognizing him as Hikari's ex-boyfriend, and telling him to give up, because he can never be with her. We see Rintaro walking away, thinking there's nothing special about him, so he doesn't deserve to be with Hikari. But he sees a four-leaf clover, and he recalls the moments he spent with her, so he is determined to get her back. That evening, he discusses the situation with the girls, telling them that he plans to sneak into the mansion to take her away. But they think that he will never succeed, because Hana is extremely rich, so he won't be able to escape from her. He knows that he doesn't stand a chance, but he is determined to make Hikari happy, saying he is willing to risk everything for her. He explains that he's going to proceed with his plan, telling them to wait for him to return, but they tell him that they love him, so they are willing to join him in his plan. He tries to talk them of it, knowing they're about to get into trouble, but he realizes that they all love Hikari, so they are all determined to save her. They go to the mansion, and Rintaro plans to throw a ball to grab Hikari's attention, but he misses the window, and the ball disappears. Indo sees a cat playing with it, and they try to chase after it, as it makes its way to Nano. She thinks that the most efficient way to deal with it is to disable it with a kick. But Rintaro stops the cat, and they hear the guard approaching, so they hide behind a tree. The cat approaches him, so he thinks that it caused the commotion, but they can no longer retrieve the ball, so they have no choice but to go to Hikari's room. They see a pet door at the entrance, and Nano collects rocks from the garden, using them to open the door. We learn that she was able to determine the lock's location from the shape of the door, and she launched the rocks with amazing precision, allowing her to unlock the door. She tells them to enter the mansion, but Rintaro notices that her thumb is injured, so Inda treats her wound, wondering what happened to it. She explains that she had to use her thumb to improve her accuracy, saying she owes Hikari for saving her from the perverts. They enter the mansion, but they see a guard dog approaching, so they decide to retreat, but they realize that Shizuka has been left behind. She thinks that it's all over for her, so she tells everyone to go without her. The dog approaches her, but it starts licking her, as Nano explains that dogs have a natural instinct to protect weak creatures, and Shizuka is so weak that the dog forgot about its duty to protect the mansion. Rintaro thinks that the dog will pursue them once they enter, so Nero suggests telling Shizuka to poke its eyes out. But Kasuri shows them a potion, revealing that it can put animals to sleep. She gives it to Shizuka, telling her to use it, but she ends up drinking it because Kasuri forgot to tell her how to use it. She ends up falling asleep, but the dog licks the drug from her, causing it to feel drowsy. They enter a corridor, and the cat joins them, triggering an alarm. So the guards rush to their location, but they manage to hide, and the guards take the cat, realizing that it tripped the sensors. Nano thinks that they won't make it past the corridor because they will need infrared goggles to avoid triggering the alarm. But Kasuri reveals that she brought infrared vision eye drops, and Rintaro decides to use it, as she explains that he will see nothing but the sensors while under its effect. Inda tells her that she dropped an envelope, and Nano notes that it's addressed to a foreign research team, realizing that she was planning to send the eye drops as an attachment to her application. But she tells them that Hikari is more important than the research team, and Rintaro's eyes transform, allowing him to see the sensors. But he thinks that it's impossible for them to pass through because the sensors are everywhere. He realizes that there's an opening close to the ceiling, but the corridor is too wide for a person to climb to the top. Nano suggests getting 2 people to work together, but she notes that they are all girls, so she thinks that they are a poor match for Rintaro because they can't match his strength. But she realizes that Enda is an exception, so she ties them together, telling them to synchronize their movements to get past the sensors. They are able to reach the top, and they make their way to the end of the corridor, as Rintaro tells Enda that her clothes are getting slippery. But we see that his head is pressed against her belly, causing her to feel some kind of way. They are able to reach the other side, and Rintaro tells the others to wait for them outside. They see Hikari's room, so they open the door, and they see her looking at their group picture. But at that moment, the alarm is triggered, as Rintaro realizes that they shouldn't have opened the door. They realize that they're surrounded by the guards, and they are taken to Hana, who tells them that she won't dispose of them because they're Hikari's friends. Rintaro tells her that he will make Hikari happy, but she doesn't believe him, revealing that she was 13 years old when she gave birth to Hikari. She explains that the man she loved was dying from sickness, and she wanted to bear his child before he died, so she underwent artificial insemination at a young age. She knows that she made a reckless move, thinking it runs in her blood, so she thinks that Hikari will do ridiculous things for love. After her lover died, she raised Hikari on her own, and though she was happy to have Hikari in her life, she realized that her lover could never be replaced. She doesn't want Hikari to go through the suffering she endured, so she wants Rintaro to stay away, thinking he can never bring Hikari happiness. Hana's story makes Rintaro cry, saying he doesn't want Hikari to suffer like she did. At that moment, the effect of the eye drop wears off, allowing him to see Hana, and as their eyes meet, they feel the shocking sensation, as he realizes she is also one of his soulmates. Hana instantly falls in love with him, asking him to go out with her, and Inda sees him considering it, so she reminds him that Hana is Hikari's mother. Hana explains that she was just joking, telling him that she will never allow his relationship with Hikari to continue. But he tells her that he will never give up, because he wants to make Hikari happy, but Hana doesn't believe him, so she brings out a lie detector, saying it should be able to reveal how unfaithful he is. But Rintaro doesn't trust it, so they decide to try it on Enda, as Hana explains that he won't be convinced if she uses it on her man. She asks Enda about her cup size, and she says that she almost says C cups, but the lie detector reveals that she's lying, as Hana explains that it can detect even the slightest lie. So Enda says that she's a B cup, but it still says she's lying, so she becomes upset, admitting that she only has A cups, and it confirms that she's telling the truth. Hana wonders if she loves Rintaro, and she says that she does, but it reveals that she's lying, so he becomes devastated, thinking he's having a nightmare. She tries to explain how much she loves him, but it keeps calling her a liar, so he feels like he's about to die. But she says that she loves him more than anything else, and it reveals that she's telling the truth, so he immediately recovers. He decides to test the machine, saying he really loves Enda, and it confirms that he's telling the truth. Hana believes that he now trusts the machine, so she asks him about his feelings for Hikari. He tells her that he will make Hikari happy, saying he's willing to die for her, and the lie detector confirms that he's telling the truth. Hana can't believe that he's faithful to his girlfriends, knowing that he has 5 of them, and she explains that she doesn't trust the result. At that moment, a maid arrives, saying Hikari is about to take her own life. Enda threatens to break Hana's neck, and Rintaro panics, thinking she's serious. But she tells him to save Hikari, saying she will wait for him to return for her. So he runs off, as Hana tries to break free, but Enda stops her, saying she's doing this for Hikari. Meanwhile, we see Hikari as she's about to jump off the building, but Rintaro arrives, telling her to escape with him. But she knows that they'll have to keep on running if they escape, thinking he's going to be in trouble because of her. She tells him that she doesn't want him to be unhappy, but he explains he won't be happy if she dies, saying he doesn't want to live without her. He tells her that he loves her, so he wants her to stay with him, and she tells him that she feels the same way. But she ends up falling, so Rintaro rushes to her, catching her just in time. But he knows that he's in a bad position, so she tells him to let go, but he refuses, and he ends up falling with her. But before they hit the ground, he manages to kick the wall, and they land in the fountain. The girls rush to them, but Shizuka is about to drown, so Kasumi saves her, wondering what she was thinking. Hana is glad to see that they're okay, realizing that Rintaro is willing to risk his life to save Hikari, so she concludes that he's a man of his word. She tells him to take care of Hikari, and he realizes that she was risking everything to protect her daughter, so he thinks that she's a great person. He promises to make Hikari happy, but he tells Hana that he also wants her to be happy, and he agrees to go out with her. The girls freak out, realizing that she likes Rintaro, but she explains that she can't help it, because she finds him incredibly attractive. The girls take a bath together, and they start comparing their chests. But Enda knows that she's no match for them, so she decides to retreat. She sees Rintaro in their room, but he tells her that her belly is visible, and she recalls the time when he rubbed his head against it. She accuses him of doing it intentionally, but he tells her that he was worried about her, so he had to do everything to prevent her from falling. But she tells him that she was embarrassed, so she wants to get back at him. She puts her head on his belly, and she enjoys the moment, but Kasuri suddenly joins them, so they pretend they were doing push-ups. Hana invites everyone to a pajama party, telling the girls to get dressed, as Hikari explains that her mother likes to dress people up, and Rintaro sees them wearing pajamas, thinking they all look amazing. Kasuri and Shizuka kiss him, and he feels like he's going to heaven, but Hana's nose starts bleeding, so he assists her, helping her walk around the mansion. She tells him that she's too old to get excited, but he tells her that they can have fun together, and she tells him that she can't hold it back anymore, inviting him to go to her room. We return to the girls, as it denotes that it's taking a long time for Rintaro and Hana to return. Hikari becomes nervous, thinking they're up to something, and at that moment, they hear Hana screaming, so they rush to her, wondering what they're doing. But they see Rintaro dressed up as a girl, and Hana is screaming because she can't believe how cute he is. He's embarrassed by the situation, and he suddenly collapses, as the girls become worried, thinking he's about to die. But Hana comes up with a plan, telling Nano to help her out. Nano dresses up as a prince, and Hikari notes that only the kiss of a prince can awaken Princess Rintaro. Nano kisses him, causing him to regain consciousness, and the girls enjoy the scene. But he tells them that he's had enough, saying he will take a bath, and the girls decide to watch him, wanting to see him naked. But Shizuka tries to stop them, so they restrain her, telling her to wait for them to return. We see Rintaro taking a bath, as Kusuri watches him from a window, but she can't see him because the glass is too foggy, so she presses her head against it. But Rintaro hears her, and he sees her head, causing him to become frightened because he thinks she's a ghost. She tells the girls that their plan has failed, so they pull her up, and Rintaro realizes that she's no longer there, so he quickly tries to finish up. Hana tells the girls that they can use the attic, saying it will lead them to the bathroom, but they think there's a mouse inside, so they freak out, and Rintaro hears them, thinking he's being haunted. Meanwhile, Shizuka is worried about Rintaro, thinking the girls are going to get everyone killed, so she tries to break free, but she realizes that she can roll away. She rolls down the staircase, causing her to gain momentum, and her restraints are removed, and she ends up in the bathroom. Rintaro panics, thinking she's a ghost, but he realizes that he was just seeing things, asking her what she's doing there. But his towel slips off, causing her to pass out. He's about to ask for help, but he sees the girls at the entrance to the attic, wondering what they're doing there. They tell him that they were just playing hide and seek, but Indo denies that they were planning to watch him, so their intentions become obvious, so he reprimands them. That evening, Rintaro sees Hana praying for Hikari's father, and he joins her, wondering why she never entertained a suitor after Hikari's father passed away. So she reveals that she's still in love with him, saying she has no right to love another man. But she tells Rintaro that she's in love with him, thinking it's not right, but he explains that she can love more than one man, as long as her feelings are real. She tells him to kiss her, as she recalls Hikari's father, who told her to save her first kiss for the man who will never leave her. Rintaro kisses her, as she becomes emotional, thinking about Hikari's father. That evening, we see everyone sleeping in one room, and Hikari approaches Rintaro, as Indo wonders what she's doing. Rintaro wakes up, and Hikari tells him that she just wants to sleep next to him, saying she was afraid that she would never be with him again. He kisses her, telling her that everything is going to be okay, and she's overjoyed to hear this, telling him to hold her until the sun rises. But after some time, Rintaro wakes up, and he sees Hikari making out with Enda, who thinks that she's Rintaro. He makes his way to the bathroom, but he sees Hikari's father, who is upset because he took both Hana and Hikari from him. But Rintaro thinks this is the perfect moment, saying he wants to talk to him, and Hikari's father wonders why Rintaro isn't afraid of him. Rintaro explains that it's because Hana loves him, thinking he's a great person, and he promises to make Hana and Hikari happy. He reveals that he has been watching over them for 16 years, and he thanks Rintaro for opening Hana's heart, saying he will be able to live in peace if Rintaro stays by her side. Rintaro is grateful to him because he was the one who brought Hikari into the world, and a bright light surrounds him as he reveals that he no longer has any regrets, so he's going to pass on, and his soul finally rests in peace. The next day, Rintaro and the girls go to school, but during the assembly, they are surprised to see that Hana has become the new chairperson, so that she will be able to see Rintaro every day. During their lunch break, he goes to Hana's mansion, but he realizes that she isn't there, so he rushes to the rooftop, and he sees her with the other girls, realizing that they are all waiting for him. They say that they love him, and he joins them, promising to make them happy. That's the series end for now. Thanks for watching my recap, and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel.